Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss CBSE Class 10 Maths Chapter 7 Coordinate Geometry, the fifth question in exercise 7.2. So let's look into the question, children. Find the ratio in which the line segment joining A and B is divided by the x-axis. Okay, so here they are giving us a line AB, okay, which is divided by the x-axis. Okay, so it means that you have the line here. This will be the line. You have the line here A and B, and this line AB is divided by the x-axis. That means you have a point here, okay, and here what will be the coordinates of that point of division. Okay, so it's dividing somewhere in the x-axis. We do not know if it is there in the origin or somewhere. So this point, at this point on the x-axis, we know that the y value will be 0 for sure, because on the x-axis, if you just have a graph, if you have a graph here, so this point will be 1 comma 0. So if this point is there, it will be 2 comma 0 and so on. So obviously we know that the y coordinate will be 0 and the x coordinate will be some x value. Okay, so x coordinate will be some x value, the y coordinate will be 0, and a is given as 1 comma minus 5 and b is given as minus 4 comma 5. Now we know the section formula. So according to the section formula, we have x comma y is equal to m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m1 plus m2 comma m1 y2 plus m2 y1 divided by m1 plus m2. Here instead of x comma y, we know that the value is going to be x comma 0. So obviously we can say that instead of y we have 0. So we know what is x2, x1 and all. So all these values are given here. Okay, so we are given x2, we are given x1, we are given y2 and we are given y1. So this one we can take it as x1 comma y1 and this we can take it as x2 comma y2. Okay, so here for this we will now substitute for the y coordinate. Because it is 0, we will get it very easily. Okay children, so when we substitute for the y coordinate, the answer will be little more easier. Though we know the values of x1, x2, y1, y2 and all, we still don't know what is m1 and m2. So automatically we are going to use the formula with k is to 1, which we have done in the previous questions. So in that case, what will we have? So instead of m1 and m2, we are going to substitute it by k and 1. So now we'll just substitute the values here. So for x comma 0, so k1 x2, so it will be k into x2, so it will be k into x2 plus k into x1 divided by, so here it will be 1 into x1, so it will be x1 divided by k plus 1 comma m1 y2. For y alone I am going to substitute value because I told you with 0 we are going to compare and get the values. So now for m1 it is going to be k, and for y2 check for the value. For y2 it's what, 5, plus for m2 it is going to be 1, so y1 it is going to be minus 5 divided by k plus 1. So now we'll take the 0 alone. So for 0 it is going to be 5k, so this will be minus 5 divided by k plus 1. So when you take this k plus 1 to the other side, it will become 0 into k plus 1, which will obviously become 0. So we'll get it as 0 is equal to 5k minus 5. When you bring this there, it will be 5 is equal to 5k, or k will be equal to 5 by 5, where I will get the value of k as 1. The value of k is 1. So what is the ratio? The ratio is k is to 1, which is going to be 1 is to 1. So now we know the value of m1 and m2 also. So now we have all the values. So we know m1 is 1, m2 is also 1, and now we can do with the x. Okay, now if we know the point for x alone, we can very easily find out the coordinates. So now we will substitute for x. So for x, what will be our formula? It will be m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m1 plus m2. So m1 m2 we know. What is our x1? Our x1 is 1. Our x2 is minus 4. Let's substitute that, children. So our m1 is 1. So 1 into minus 4 plus 1 into 1 divided by 1 plus 1. So our value will be minus 4 plus 1 by 2. So it will be minus 3 by 2. So what is the point here? The coordinates of the point of division. So this coordinate is going to be x comma 0. So which will be, so therefore if I want to write x comma 0, I can write it as minus 3 by 2 comma 0 is the point of division. So this is how we will have to proceed with this question. Since we are given that it is divided by the x-axis, y value is 0. If it is going for, if you are given a question like y-axis, then your x value will be 0, so the coordinate will be 0 comma y. So in that case, so instead of doing with y is equal to 0, we will first substitute 0 here and then we will proceed. Is it clear, children? So vice versa you will have to do when you are given for the y-axis. So this is how you will have to solve it. You just need to have a little bit of knowledge about these coordinates and how the points will lie on the x-axis and the y-axis, and regarding the usage of your section formula and where you need to use the k is to 1, that is the k is to 1 formula. So hope you understood this, children. If you have any doubts in understanding the formula, please get back to the concept videos or listen to the previous questions where we have solved it so that it will be easy for you. See you again in the next question in the upcoming video, children. Thank you, children.